guys, it's Legend Wings or Mackenzie, and I'm back here today again with my friend Kaylee, and we're reading 2 more chapters of this wonderful book known as Modelland. Last time, Creamy appeared, and that's all that really matters, is that Creamy appeared.
That and the fact that there were absolutely no consequences whatsoever for Tookie's actions.
Yep.
For the climax of the book, it has no consequences for her leaving Modelland.
Yep. None whatsoever. She goes and does the competition. Bravo. Fails so that she'll win, so she doesn't even win by her own merit. And
they escaped back to Ladorno.
Oh, yeah.
And then Silken found them. Surprise, surprise. Because, she can teleport.
So that was way back when. And now we were at some other...
Now they're coming back to see the... is it the 7-7 tournament?
Yeah.
I think, to pick the new 7-7s.
It's really confusing, because there's a lot of things going on that are very similar, I feel like.
Yeah.
And now Creamy appeared over the wall, completely disheveled. She's missing fingers.
They thought she was a lizard, and
she's got like a skeletal hand with no muscle. So this will be fun.
All right. Well, we're on chapter 41. Stone to bone, and flesh.
Cool.
Tookie, get up! Damn it! The voice sounded foggy and far away. Bright light shone in Tookie's eyes, and she sat up, looked around, and gasped. She was in her old bedroom in Peppertown. What?
Just having visions of her past.
Maybe. Unless it was all a dream.
Oh my god, please no. But maybe that would explain
more
a lot.
sense.
It would explain a lot. Please be a dream. Please be a dream.
The room was its usual mess. Miracle's things strewn over every inch of space. Miracle lay in her bed by the window, Giggle snoring happily. Tookie ran her hands down her face, her heart pounding fast. Everything she'd endured and experienced, Piper, Shiraz, and Dylan, Bravo, and Silken, and seeing her mother climbing over the wall, none of it had been real. It was all a dream.
This is a big fake out. Cool.
Oh, I did skip a page. She felt a strange mix of loss, devastation, and relief. At least she didn't have to face Creamy's wrath in Modelland now. But then tears dotted her eyes, revealing the truth and her disappointment. Tookie, get up! Tookie looked around her bedroom, and before she could respond, her vision went foggy. Giggle snoring Miracle started to fade, and once more, Tookie descended into maddening darkness. Tookie, I know you hear me! Damn it! Again, I don't know who's speaking.
I'm guessing it's Creamy, and I'm just going, what's the point of all of this?
I don't know.
There's none. There's none right now.
Because this was your trying to fake the readers out. It was all a dream.
No. But just kidding, it's not all a dream.
Yep.
100%.
Tookie opened her eyes again, and leaning over her was the monster. A giant wall rose up behind it. If I have to tell you one more time to stand the hell up! Oh, if I have to tell you one more time to stand the hell up. That's how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
It's just poor. It's poorly
I
written.
understand.
Tookie sat up and stared at the monster with the voice of her mother. A hot ball of fear simmered in the pit of her stomach. She felt suspended between 2 worlds. Creamy? Tookie whispered again to the creature, drawing back. Shiraz helped Tookie to her feet. Who is monster, and how you know it? It's my mother, Tookie sputtered. The girls gaped at her. Tookie reached out to the cruddy beast. Are you real? Did you fall on your big head just now? Creamy spat. Of course I'm real. Tookie gazed around dazedly. She felt caught between the Tookie she had been and the Tookie she was now. The M building loomed in the distance. The golden plaza sparkled. Piper crouched in a ball, screamed. There's another grammatical error.
Cool.
Piper, crouched in a ball, screamed, period. Look, another one. No. It would be screamed, look, another one. Because that is what she's screaming. Mm-hmm. I swear, the editors just gave up on, their, second reading or something.
Their 20th chapter, they gave up.
They're probably like, this will never get published.
It's fine. This will never see the light of day.
never again see the light of day!
Another hand appeared at the top of the wall. An instant later, a second body dropped spastically into Modelland. When it turned, Tookie's heart stopped in her chest. Those perfect aqua blue, single-colored eyes. Miracle. My sister, Tookie said in disbelief. The words didn't sound quite right coming out of her mouth. Your sister is part gizzard? Piper asked.
You wouldn't say... Sorry. You wouldn't say, my sister! I'm not going to go look at my brother, and when I recognize him, for the sake of everybody else around me, go, my brother! I'm going to call him by name. So for the same reason, she would go, Miracle! And they'd be like, who's that? And she'd be like, it's my sister! Not first, my sister. Sorry, little pet peeve.
That's okay. It's a good point. Your sister is part gizzard? Piper asked, looking at Tookie with the same fearful expression she had once reserved for L. Dylan grabbed Piper's hand. Everything seemed like it was happening in both slow and sped-up motion. Tookie felt dizzier and dizzier. Creamy and Miracle were here? She remembered Creamy pointing to the sky as if she was cursing Tookie when L had carried her away in her pouch on T-Dog. Then she thought of what she'd overheard in the Belladonna's chambers, how the Belladonna had switched a girl who rightfully belonged at Modelland with Tookie. And now Tookie's suspicions had proven true. That rightful girl was Miracle, and Creamy was there on a mission. Long time no see, Creamy said to Tookie, taking her in from head to toe. You look different. She reached back and yanked the hunk off her back. A cruddy backpack fell to the ground. She then forcefully pulled Tookie up. Take us to the Belladonna, now. Excuse me? Her mother's grip on Tookie's arm strengthened. Are you deaf? She mocked. For a moment, Tookie couldn't speak. She couldn't take Creamy to the Belladonna. If she did, her stay at Modelland would be all over. You could get in huge trouble, Creamy. You can't be here. Okay, you don't know that.
If you
don't know that.
Any amount of character growth that you claim to have had, Tookie, you'd be like, no, because I got here, and you could go find her yourself. I don't want to get into that mess with you. But no.
That, and also, if the Belladonna was the one that purposefully chose Tookie over someone else, that we don't even know if it was Miracle or not.
Yep.
Well then,
she's not gonna
it might not even do anything.
Yeah.
The Belladonna obviously had a reason. She's not just going to be like, oh, you climbed the mountain, which we don't encourage people to do.
You're not allowed to do. This is over swell.
Yep. Creamy waved her hand dismissively. Then her eyes brightened as she noticed something behind Tookie. She marched ahead, crossing the Golden M Plaza. Golden exclamation marks followed her as she made her way to the O. Miracle, come! Creamy shouted, snapping her fingers and shifting Bellissima in her arms. Miracle and everyone else trailed behind. Tookie turned and felt a momentary jolt of pleasure at seeing Miracle looking so wretched while she herself wore Modelland dress uniform couture. Creamy marched right up to the Belladonna statue and stared at it. Belladonna! The statue remained still.
Yeah.
Creamy stomped her sooty foot. Belladonna, I know you hear me, Creamy roared. Brown spit spewed from her mouth with every syllable.
She's not taking shit from you.
No. Lady, today Madame Belladonna may be a bit stone-faced and temperamental, L said in a teasing, confiding voice, leaning close to Creamy. Especially because today's the 7-7 tournament. Creamy rolled her eyes, which, after months of starvation, looked like deep pits far back in her skull. They've been there, Tookie's been there about a year.
But months of starvation and she can still move. It was just
she is just that determined.
I guess.
I mean, it does say that she's skeletal. She's probably not walking she's probably not sprinting anywhere anytime soon.
She's not the heroic figure we hope to see
notice
at the end
how
of the story.
And I bet Miracle's in the same condition. You know that she's been silent. She's probably exhausted. Creamy is just creamy and just she is on a mission. The 7-7 tournament, the idiotic pomp and circumstance. She turned back to the statue. "Belladonna!" she roared. "Stop ignoring me!" In all caps, all caps.
Good.
"Oh my god, look!" Dylan shrieked. The Belladonna statue's eyes began to blink. Her hands moved from their alluring pose. She arched her neck way down and gazed upon the filthy woman in the O. Her brow furrowed. The corners of her mouth dipped into a frown. Then she burst into song. "Silly moppet, foolish wench, creatures of abominable stench, you cross up my gold path today, so welcome to your dear doomsday. The punishment deserved you will." Creamy stomped her foot again, interrupting the Belladonna's song. "Will you stop that ridiculous singing?" Tookie and the Unikas exchanged shocked looks. The Belladonna continued to scowl. Her gaze scanned the others. Her eyes narrowed, especially when she noticed C.L. "Of course you'd be part of this," she hissed. "I don't know what this is, but it's pretty damn entertaining," C.L. said. "Well," Creamy stared at the statue, "where the hell are you? You and I need to have a serious talk." The Belladonna paused. More cheers exploded from inside the 7-7 stadium. Drums beat wildly. Tookie waited for Modelland security to approach. She knew the Belladonna would not conduct a visit with a mere mortal, just as the most important tournament of the year was about to begin. Not with her public waiting, not with the grand, important, life-changing decisions to be made, not with the entire board waiting for her. Wait, so is the board really spelled B-O-R-E-D?
It's spelled bored because they always look so bored.
Oh. Amazingly, the giant Belladonna statue sighed and stretched her arm towards a thick hedge. "All of you, go to the last zip-zap on the left through there. Now!" Tookie gasped. "Seriously?"
Why?
Then the statue went stiff, the decision made.
Why?
Creamy is just all-powerful.
I hate this so much.
What if Creamy had, in her prime, been like one of the 7-7s or one of the other Bellas that has the power to convince people to do what they want?
She's not going to be thinking that deeply.
Probably not.
It's going to be literally, because you stood up to me, I shall grant your wishes. And I'm going to hate everything.
Just, maybe no one is like, maybe everyone's just terrified to stand up to Creamy.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be, is that, see, C.L. could scare the Belladonna, so now Creamy's going to scare the Belladonna, and who knows what's going to happen. Maybe Miracle's supposed to be there at school with Tookie the next year. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be.
I don't know. Everyone marched. I think that Creamy's just going to take over Modelland.
Good God. No.
Everyone marched off towards the hedges to the zip-zap. "Creamy," Miracle cried. "Do we have to go inside that jiggity-jaggedy thing?" Tookie turned to C.L., who lingered outside the hedge with her. "You're coming with us, right?" "I don't think so, Tookie," C.L. said, scratching her back.
Tyra can't keep up with all these characters in one room.
Your mom and your sister remind me of Your mom and your sister remind me of when I dug up my...
Why?
I don't know. Oh, skeletons. Oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
But why would that remind you of that? Just because
she dug up her skeletal friends. Creamy and Miracle are like walking skeletons. They probably look like they're dead.
But come on. This is literally because I had forgotten C.L. was even there until she spoke 2 pages in. I'm like,
yeah,
Tyra can't keep track of you, so she's ditching you right now.
The problem is there's no point for like her and like the other friends being there, so.
Yep.
Then Tookie heard a horn blare behind her. When she turned, she saw a familiar face staring with wonderment at the brand new stadium. His hair slicked back, his formal testosterone uniform tightly fitted to his body, and a little bruise over his left eye, perhaps from where someone smacked him hard during Nan attack.
Wonder who?
Bravo! He turned, as if sensing Tookie watching. When he saw her, his expression was one of utter confusion. The last he knew, she had said she was leaving Modelland. Everything Bravo had told Tookie just before they fought in Man Attack flooded her brain like a disease. I made a bet. The weird-looking ones. They're the ultimate challenge. She let out a sniff. But as she was about to turn away, she noticed the look on his face, as if he didn't want her to break eye contact. And then he licked his thumb and feigned mimed wiping Tookie's eyebrows.
Why is this their thing? I was half expecting him to stick his whole thumb in his mouth. And like pretend to suck on it as emotion, but I'm so glad he at least
would have been better because it would have been so stupid funny instead of just weird. Whatever. Tookie's mouth fell open. How dare he do that, of all things? She made up her mind that she would never forgive him. Ever. I don't know! What? I don't know!
It's just so dumb. How dare you lick your thumb and wipe your eyebrow in my direction?
Again, it's rather than sitting there like sucking his thumb, but you know.
But no.
Again, I'm over Bravo. I don't think that he and Tookie would make the best couple anyway.
Over all of them.
All of them.
All of them and their hormonal mood swings. Like, I don't understand.
It's called bad writing.
It's so bad. It's just so bad.
Tookie's mouth fell open. How dare he do that, of all things? She made up her mind that she would never forgive him.
Oh, sure,
ever.
Honey.
You might as well be dead to me, Bravo.
Good luck with that, honey. You'll kiss
We
him
are
in 4
waiting,
chapters.
Creamy said from inside the hedge. C-Tilde-L backed away. I'm sorry, Tookie. You're on your own with this one. I'm so sorry, but I'm feeling the urge to go find a read. But Tookie looked at C-Tilde-L pleadingly. This was all too much. Her mother's return, Miracle, the stress of Bravo. Please, C-Tilde-L, I can't do this alone. And I don't want you to be alone right now. Okay, alone, you're not alone. You've got your other, 3 friends with you.
Yeah, and
C-Tilde-L, just up until an hour ago, you thought she was crazy and trying to murder you.
And now you want her...
I understand not wanting to leave her alone, but, just... On the other hand, being C-Tilde-L, I need you. I thought you were gonna kill me an hour ago, but now we're best friends.
Now I need you.
C-Tilde-L wavered for a minute, then nodded.
What was the point of all that dialogue? There was nothing happened. Nothing happened. C-Tilde-L's hesitant. She didn't have to be. This isn't about C-Tilde-L. This is about Tookie now. Why are we wasting time on a secondary character?
Yeah. I just spotted a word that.
Oh.
Tookie walked into the clearing and approached the zip-zap on the end. She glanced over her shoulder and then ducked inside. Creamy followed. In seconds, they had all slid through the long tube and emerged at the end of a dim corridor. Piper inhaled. Blood oranges. At least something smells fresh, Dylan said, eyeing Creamy Miracle. And then they heard them, the calming, soothing undulations of the unseen voices chanting, ooh and ah. Tookie glanced at her friends. The belladonna had ordered them to the ooh-ah. It just rhymes with ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah.
So they're gonna go see the seer people and see who was supposed to be there. And
probably.
Because that has to come up again, because if it only came up that one time at the beginning of the story. Yes.
This is the weirdest sentence I'm about to read.
Okay.
Guess Madame Belladonna needed her butt waxed before her big 7-7 speech.
What?
C-Tilde-L said, smirking.
What?
They walked into the spa lobby. It was much more humid than when Tookie had been there. Purplish light spilled into the hall. The check-in desk was unoccupied, and a serene tableau was reflected on the walls. A cobblestone street, church towers, a burgeoning butcher shop, burgeoning?
I guess.
Right? And that is tableau, right?
All I know is taboo, and that's not the same thing.
A cobblestone street, church towers, a burgeoning butcher shop, and a cobbler's shop, and a spinning windmill surrounded them. The sound of church bells reverberated so loudly that Tookie felt they were suddenly trapped in a belfry. Quaint, Piper murmured, looking round. It like village in Labrian fairy tale, Shiraz whispered. She reached out to touch a jolly, white-bearded man with droplets of sweat on his brow, but her
Santa?
fingers slipped through his transparent image. There was no one else in the room. Belladonna, Creamy called out. Where are you? This place has you written all over it.
It's a spa.
It does? Tookie whispered. Ctilda caught her eye and shrugged. See, she totally knows her.
Yeah.
Belladonna, Creamy roared again. I swear to God, woman, if you don't answer me, I'm here, a voice boomed, and everyone jumped. A gauzy curtain materialized in the corner. Persimmon stepped through it, her hands clasped at her waist. As soon as Creamy saw her, she let out a gasp. Good Lord, what is that? She's naked. She's naked and has black eye-whities, Creamy, Miracle said fearfully. Tookie nudged her.
Lord.
That's Persimmon. A man can't. Miracle, have some respect. More like persecution, Creamy muttered. Persimmon flinched slightly. Then Persimmon gestured to the curtain. I will lead you to see the Belladonna now, but let me run down the rules first. No touching of the Belladonna. No getting too close. No incessant breathing in her presence. Piper nudged Tookie. We're actually going to see the Belladonna? Like, all up in the flesh and everything? Dylan said, her eyes wide as saucers. Persimmon listed the last of the rules. Only speak when spoken to. If in doubt, remain silent. Oh, please, Creamy exploded, pushing past Persimmon and bursting through the curtain. Everyone followed her inside. Tookie held her breath. Again, unsure of what they were about to see, but it was just an empty room. The walls were blank. There were no cushy chairs, no cashmere walls, no treatment beds. The only thing in the room was a large, slate-gray statue of the Belladonna in the corner. All at once, as Creamy moved closer, a giant, jagged crack appeared on the statue's shoulder. The crack widened, snaking all the way to the Belladonna's belly button. The rocky exterior rumbled as if stricken by a tiny, self-contained earthquake, and an enormous chunk of the shoulder and torso broke off and smashed into 100 pieces on the ground. Okay, generally, when you're trying to have a really, quick, dramatic scene, the quicker your sentences are, it gives off a sense of, a faster pace.
Mm-hmm.
And, being only, registering these, quick, certain, flashes of imagery as you're, taking in everything so quickly. This, I can barely get through the sentence in one breath.
Yeah.
Everyone jumped back. Miracle shrieked. Tookie clapped her hand over her mouth. See, stuff like that is supposed to,
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that.
Yeah. Ooh, you broke it, Dylan murmured under her breath to Creamy. As we said, the Bo Big Teak Nation. You Bo break it, you Bo buy it, baby.
What?
Why are you here?
I wish they weren't here. Tookie needs real support. No, you just want all the main characters at the climax. It's dumb.
Yep.
It's dumb. They don't have to be there.
Yep.
They could be part of the main cast and
This
not
isn't
be
even
there.
the climax. The climax was when they
Wasn't
were
that
chased
all?
and caught by Ctilda is how you traditionally have your rising action up to your climax where they escape, which is what they've been trying to do. And then Ctilda catches them. And they would be all the falling action figuring out what was really going on with Ctilda. Now are you going to the 7-7 tournament? And I would say that this is all the falling action as they're figuring out what's going on, what's happening with Miracle and Creamy.
Aragon, or the Inheritance series, can afford 100 pages of falling action because it had to wrap up 4 different 700-page books. I don't know that we've reached what Tyra would call the climax. I think something might still happen. Now, I would agree the other thing was better climax. But that would be a lot of falling action for one book.
I didn't say it was a good book or it was written well, but I'm pretty sure this is still the falling action.
Rip.
I think. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Another chunk fell off the statue. Its right bicep crumbled, then an elbow, then the stone that formed the Belladonna's sinewy fingers. but there was something inside the statue's
What?
stony interior.
What?
Something the crumbling rock was slowly revealing.
Was it the belladonna?
5 human fingers emerged from the
Oh
slate.
God, stop!
A rose gold sleeve made of the finest silk appeared next. Then a swan-like neck. Hold on. Then a swan-like neck and a pair of round, pert breasts.
Why? Why are we doing this? This is so stupid! This is not good!
No!
This is probably the climax right here. Look at how much you spent
Especially
describing all
the thing
this.
they end with. And put to the most important is a pair of round, pert breasts.
Oh, that's definitely the most important thing.
That is all we see when we look at the belladonna.
Just boobs. Boobs Mackenzie.
Better not been messing with my senpai boobs, Mackenzie. You get out of here!
Flesh, bone, a person was under there.
Wow!
And then the person began to move. Wasn't already moving. You already saw the fingers and whatnot.
Yeah, it was already moving, Tyra.
Well, and then the person began to move. The fingers on the right hand twitched. The chest heaved in and out. Its feet, which were clad in sharp 7-inch high stilettos, tapped. Everyone, even Creamy, stared as more and more pieces from the sculpture tumbled to the ground. Finally, the entire statue had chipped away, except for one large piece of stone over the face. "How dare!" a muffled voice said from behind the stone. Tookie glanced at the others. It was definitely the belladonna's voice. They were actually going to see her in the flesh.
You are seeing her. That's what's presently in front of you. It's the belladonna.
You didn't to see, the belladonna went on. Tookie, her friends, Miracle, and even Creamy took one step backward, holding their breath. This is it, Tookie thought. Here it comes.
What's the plot twist?
Wow! She's still muffled, so.
Wow!
It's me, the belladonna boomed. The belladonna's stone mask fell to the floor and shattered.
And she was the Phantom of the Opera? Is there a scar on her face?
I'm kind of thinking so that she's like disfigured in some way. Otherwise, why would she
That's why she
go
picked
around as a
Tookie.
statue instead of like her own
That's why
self?
she picked Tookie.
Yeah, maybe.
That's what it'll be.
I'm still here for the idea that Creamy knows her, and I think it'd be very interesting if Creamy was somehow like one of the Modelland models, one of the Bellas, that somehow like said, "Hey, I don't want to model anymore. I'm gonna go have a family," and that's why she is obsessed with beauty. Why the belladonna's listening to her? Maybe, I don't know, but it also makes sense if she was the one that went up the hill on the Pilgrim Plague, because if she knows the way. But I don't know. It's just so many questions.
So many
questions.
Half of them won't get answered because there's not a sequel like they were supposed to be. At least not yet.
Yeah.
But it's been a few years. Gotta speak in Trey Jolie again and
Oh boy.
Troy Compines. It sounds more Hispanic.
I don't know.
Le Troy Compines. What does that mean? I don't know. Tookie would know what it means. I don't know what it means because I don't speak this fake French language. Chapter 42, anyways. Oh! All the Unica said at once. Boo! The belladonna answered. Oh, like a seductive ghost. Ooh. I thought it was
I
like,
don't know.
boo! It's like, ooh. A humor of sense she has, murmured Shiraz. See, I was already trying to correct her. A heavenly glow emanated from the belladonna, as though she was not a human, but a goddess. Her hair was wild and black and fell past her waist. Her skin was olive, her cheekbones high, her lips defined, and her eyes, the darkest coal-black irises Tookie had ever seen. The expression on her face was one of utter poise, but also extreme annoyance. She was beyond striking. Yeah, like those two things were like complete opposites each other. She was beyond striking, possessing a divine, otherworldly type of beauty. Shiraz dropped to her knees, and the rest of the girls followed. Supernatural, Piper blurted out reverently. She said, boo. Is that what clued you in? Dang, am I seeing things? Did her dress just up and change up on me? Dylan whispered. Oh, she whispered that, sorry.
Wait, that's what you're most concerned about? She just came out of a statue.
And she's like,
Whatever.
Did her dress just up and change on me? They're all a little slow on the draw, I'm just saying. The belladonna's dress had quickly morphed from the metallic rose gold ruffles to a kaleidoscopic snakeskin frock with thousands of pleats. She's sparkly and rainbow. 14-year-olds love that. The shape-shifting dress finally settled into a dramatic black floor-length gown with sharp spikes. Oh, that's for your punk rock girls. You gotta get that other side of the crown. She got rainbows and spikes. Sounds like Claire's to me. With sharp spikes around the high-necked collar. Every so often, the spikes writhed and twisted, alive. See, Tilda L. whispered. She's a fashion dictator. Her clothes shift, and the world's fashion trends follow. I'll bet my C. Tilda L. face money that tomorrow, spiked dresses will be all the friggin' rage.
Okay, so is this implying that people see what the belladonna, who
Yeah.
walks around as a statue, is wearing, and they copy this? Well, that does make sense because she walks around as a statue. Like, the Bellas haven't even seen her.
Nobody's seen
Or
her.
does she have, like, the... I thought, like, all the fashion trends followed the one other weird fashion 7-7 from the beginning. Or
they
just
did.
whatever the belladonna decides, like, yeah, today I'm gonna wear black dresses. Oh, look! I guess the whole world will wear black dresses because we're connected by magic. Do, like, all the designers just, like, sense, like, have sunbursts of inspiration of, oh, we should all draw black dresses and make those next.
I don't understand. If they can't see her, how does that all...
It's a lawless land. It's a lawless land.
This is so bad, guys. And that C. Tilda L. spends the time... We don't need to know this information.
No.
We don't need to know this information. There's not...
As you're all staring in awe at this person, they look
It's-
up to a god. Is that the newest fashions? No, that's not pertinent information.
Tyra, world building was the first half of the book. We can stop with the world building, and we just need to focus on Tookie and her story and wrapping things up. We don't need this...
Oh, we'll do that in book number 2.
Fashion dictator. Yeah, book 2. Shh, Persimmon hissed, giving C. Tilda L. a swift kick in the side with her pointy-toed boot. Ow! 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 Speak only when spoken to. And if you don't have anything worthwhile to say, say nothing. And
Thank
if
you, Persimmon. Thank you.
I'm just thinking,
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
that's what she took it from. The belladonna stared, or actually squinted at Creamy, almost like she couldn't quite see her very well at first. Then her forehead crinkled in a scowl. This is not happening. This creature has not invaded my chambers on such an important day.
Well, then maybe you should up your security, which I thought you had.
Maybe you should let her in! Bitch! Just say it!
You also just invited her in there!
How dare you invade when I let you in?
I opened the door and showed you to your
You
room.
were supposed
How
to just
dare
go
you
home.
do that?
How dare you? You're supposed to go home after I invited you in. Creamy bristled. I'm not afraid of you, rock wench. You know, C. Tilda L. murmured to Tookie, I kind of like that mother of yours. She speaks my language. You don't know the half of the story. You need to back off.
Although, right now, this Creamy is really fun.
Okay, but we also got to remember, like, the Harry Potter-esque past that Tookie's had and how awful this person was to her.
Yeah.
This is not like
Oh, Creamy is not a good person.
No, she's
She
terrible.
also murdered how many people in the climb up the mountain? Creamy is not a good person. But she's just a funny character that she just is yep, I'm gonna do it, and she does.
If I would bet money by the end of this book, L goes, Tookie, I lost all the people I loved. You shouldn't let people that you love go. And then she's gonna be all right with her family. Because they're just going to say, well, we all have differences of opinion, and that's okay.
That's not okay when no one's had any growth or has not changed how they act.
Yeah, but see, Tilda L here is stating that she's like, I like that mom of yours.
Maybe that won't happen. I hope it doesn't. Let's see if that's the case.
You can have her, Tookie murmured. Her heart was pounding wildly. What was the Belladonna going to do to Creamy? She'd overheard what the Belladonna did to see Tilda L, and was sure that the rock wench was capable of worse. Creamy, maybe we should go, she whispered to her mother. A bemused smile crept onto the Belladonna's face. Creamy? What's with this creamy nonsense? Is that what you're making your children call you? If I am seeing what I think am.
What?
If I am seeing what I think am. I stuttered because I was like, I messed that up. No, I didn't.
Oh, there's a missing word. Oh, they missed
It's just one whole letter. You guys, one whole letter.
And it makes all the difference. Really, where are the editors?
They gave up.
They just gave up.
They're like, we don't want to read this. It's really bad. She's not going to publish anyways. And then she did.
That's what happens when you're rich. You get published in lots of fame that you don't necessarily deserve when there's so many other good, great books that deserve to be published, and then you get this.
And we get this.
And it makes New York bestseller because that's just popularity contests for your celebrities, apparently.
Yep.
Apparently, if you have a celebrity that writes something, it just upsets everything, whether it's good or not.
If I am seeing what I think am, you are a far cry from creamy. Clumpy is more like it, or craggy. At least my soul isn't rotten, Creamy shot back. That's highly debatable. In fact, we have a whole good 5 chapters to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Multiple chapters.
How many people did she murder?
She murdered everyone. Everyone in her group, aside from her daughter, she brutally had murdered. Then she turned to the group. Listen up, everybody. There's a rumor going around that the Belladonna's soul is as filthy as a truck stop urinal. Word has it that she traded it away. No, I can't say I had any idea. See Tilda L moved closer to Creamy, intrigued and amused. And how did she sell her soul, if I may ask? Creamy's eyes gleamed. Well, she... Silence! The Belladonna roared. I'm supposed to be changing lives right now, making the grand decisions that keep the world as we know it running smoothly. Then she snapped her fingers and stared at the bare walls. Environment Stadium! With a whoosh, the majestic grandstands of the stadium appeared on the walls. The Belladonna walked up to them until she was about an inch away, taking in the scene. The stage was a half moon of pure gold, and the various challenges for the obstacle course were set up and waiting. The 7-7 upper-class Bellas stood in a nervous huddle in the wings, many of them holding hands and chanting calming prayers. The board filed in and sat on the tic-tac-toe risers Tookie had seen in the M building. Only the middle square, the Belladonna's seat, remained empty. The board glanced at it with alarm, perhaps worried that she hadn't yet appeared. Gennaro eyed the middle seat as if he wanted to be in it.
I'm assuming that is why they're worried. If they're glancing at it with alarm,
yeah,
they're probably, yes, worried that she's not there.
Thank you,
That
Tyra.
is very redundant.
So dumb. I like how are we gonna avoid this conflict that's going on and keep it, just insert new scene. Just other stuff happens.
Again, is it really pertinent information? They've been on, like, the outside of the tournament for forever. Why just not ignore that?
Exactly.
And just have either the Belladonna, like, be like, I'll deal with you after the tournament, or just ignore the tournament. I don't know.
That would make sense to me, but apparently we gotta add more conflict before we have any sort of iota of resolution. The brand new sparkling seats were filled to a capacity with staff, bastastros, and civilians. Hovering above were special skyboxes for every living Intoxibella. Tookie spotted Katucha from last year's ceremony waving to the crowd. Sindisi had bastastros waiting on her hand and foot. Dalma, one of the most amazing...
We're really going to go through them.
We're going to go through a whole list of names.
Because they had no pertinence to the story whatsoever after that waste of a chapter.
I don't know what these characters look like. I don't know who they are. I don't know if this was set up for the following books.
What would have made more sense would have been, like, if the 7-7 people for the year had to take 1 year and, like, train the new Belladonnas or the new Bellas or something. Yeah. So at least there's a reason to spend a whole stupid chapter on their names and their powers.
Yeah. But no.
But no. We only name them to call attention to them again.
It's just
to give the illusion that they matter.
Dumb. Because we don't care about these characters. What we're supposed to care about right now is Tookie, Creamy, Miracle, and the Belladonna. Only 4 we're supposed to care about right now. And instead we're wasting it walking around this tournament and naming random people we've barely interacted with. We've barely seen and we've never interacted with. No purpose whatsoever.
None.
Dalma, one of the most amazing catwalkers of all time, walked in place regally for the crowd. Then Tookie noticed a skinny Intoxibella popping pills and offering some to the Intoxibella to her left. Okay. She looked like she hadn't slept for weeks. Is that Fiona from Catwalk Corridor? She wondered. It was! She must have gotten out for good behavior, but it appeared she'd be sent back soon. What's the point of this?
None.
What is the point of this?
I get, like, the idea of it's trying to show, like, okay, maybe this one instance is another thing you might see in, like, the modeling industry. However, it could have been a far different place. Have it occur in one of the students or something. We don't need this whole entire paragraph.
In the first half of the book, I am a believer that the majority of world building, it should be spread out, but you shouldn't be world building simultaneously while working towards the end of your story.
Yep. That, or, like, you could even set it up, like, say, first quarter of the book, they wind up in Modelland. Second of the quarters, it's all these brand new exciting things. You see all the good things. By the third quarter, you should see all of the bad things.
Yep.
And by the end of that third quarter, you should have your character make a decision of what they want to believe and, like, have this realization of, okay, it's not all what I thought, but somehow their perception of the world needs to change. And we sort of get that, except we don't, because we're still going through all, like, the negative things, and as if it's a brand new thing that Tookie's like, oh my god, I didn't know there was stuff like this. It's just set up in a weird way. It should have been like, this is not the time or place for this. This is, if we're not counting the chase scene as the climax, which I still think it is, even in our falling action like this, we should not be worried about this. We should be worried about, like you said, the characters themselves and finding a resolution. This is all unnecessary.
The climax is going to be whatever Creamy's reveal is. It's going to be intentionally the climax. But it should have been.
I still think it's the falling action because the most exciting, high-stakes point in the book is that chase scene with C-Tilda.
I'll word it this way. Tyra intended for the climax to be this moment coming up. What she didn't realize is that the stakes she set before were so high, there is nowhere else for us to go but down. That's the sense I'm getting from this, is that she keeps building. Oh, she's coming from a statue. Oh, this is going on. Oh, this girl's popping pills in the corner. Something big's about to happen.
But your climax is your turning point. So I think that's where, C-Tilda L's good. Okay, we're going back to Modelland. Our view was wrong. And all of this is falling action.
Just basically, in summary, Tyra did this wrong. Is all I want to say. Because I feel like she thinks that the big grandiose thing's about to happen when back yesteryear is when the other true grandiose thing happened.
Pretty much.
The Modelland Bellas filled the floor section of the stadium. Zizi and Chase lounged in the back rows, whispering, and Kamalini bobbed her head from side to side, listening to her headbanger. Filing in through the side entrances of the stadium were dozens of acrobats and exotic jungle cats, lending a circus-like atmosphere.
So the other Intoxibellas. They're
Yeah.
just cats. Maybe
Just
they're
giant
just big cats. And not
Yes.
actually jungle cats.
Can they really not see us? Piper whispered, tiptoeing over to the seats and waving her hand through Zizi's transparent hologram.
You're in a building! You're not actually there!
It's taken them a second
Right?
to catch. Yeah. They're seeing a hologram. They're having like a vision. Because that's why we're in this room.
Talking about Belladonna is looking at the wall. She said, like, show me the tournament. And they're like,
Yeah.
it's like watching through a TV.
In the Brainiac, the Ravenclaw of our group's going, oh my god, Zizi, I could put my hand through her face! She stuck out her forefinger and thumb and mimicked crushing Chase and Zizi's heads. And in an uncharacteristic way, she said, take that, bitches! Who's translucent now?
Is this really necessary? Is this pertinent information to the story?
This is pertinent information! I'll wear the pink ones, sure. It's just so... Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Because I need to make it through this chapter.
Yep.
Dylan sidled up next to Piper, lifting her train,
She sidled up.
and pulled aside her leotard, burying her butt. She wiggled it at the girls.
Is this pertinent information to the story?
Oh, yes!
And the action going on right now.
This is for you, ladies! Some big teeth booty!
Why? We just gotta get through this chapter.
Behave, Persimmon hissed, pulling both girls away. You are in the presence of the Belladonna. But the Belladonna was unaware of the unique Bella hijinks. Her eyes were darting back and forth from the stadium to Creamy. Creamy tucked Bellissima under her arm, marched over, and yanked Tookie's hand. Look, Belladumma, since you have to greet your adoring public, I'll make this short and sweet. She, Creamy jabbed a finger at Tookie, doesn't belong here. My miracle does. What? Shiraz blurted out from the sidelines. Tookie do too belong here. Silence, Persimmon snapped, kicking Shiraz. The Belladonna launched herself forward and groped for Tookie's other arm. She missed, but then she grabbed hold. She missed, comma, but then she grabbed hold. There was struggle. There was a struggle. Oh, you got me! She grabbed hold!
Why?
She grabbed hold!
Just get on with it.
Just get on with it!
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it!
Excuse me? No mistakes were made on the day of discovery. Tookie glanced nervously at C-Tilde-L, knowing the truth, but C-Tilde-L just shook her head and made a zip-it motion across her lips. You lying, stone-faced woman! Creamy gripped Tookie's wrist hard and pulled. It felt like rope burn. I know why you did this. You're still bitter after all these years. You're still holding a ridiculous grudge. With another tug, Tookie was stumbling back to the Belladonna. You're right. My heart has never healed and never will, she said cryptically. But revenge is sweet. My bringing Tookie here instead of Miracle made you catch the pilgrim plague. And that tastes so good to me. But yuck, you survived the journey. Creamy pulled Tookie back so hard, Tookie felt like her insides were going to split open. Suddenly, Creamy's gaze landed on Miracle, who was watching the 7-7 Stadium pre-show dance number with amazement. Her toes tapped to the music, her arms wiggled and her head bobbed. Dust and soot flew off her body like she was a rug that had just been shaken out.
I imagine her like standing at the window like this.
Yeah. Miracle! Creamy shrieked and slapped Miracle across the face. Not her Miracle! Her Miracle! She just bitch slapped her!
She's just an awful human
God
being.
and everyone watching! Like
we know she's an awful human being, but man, Creamy!
What is this?
Oh my gosh.
Owie, Creamy! Then stop that damn devil dancing! This is our life! Our chance! And I refuse to let you just prance it away! Miracle fought hard not to cry. Her cheek bore an exact imprint of her mother's hand and a ring on it. But it looks funner out there than it is in here with you. I'm just about anywhere it looks funner. A vessel in Creamy's forehead bulged. I trekked up this damn mountain and almost died for you! Do you even know what that was like? Miracle stared slack-jawed at her mother. Of course I know what it was like, Creamy, she said in a voice that sounded lucid, almost intelligent. I was there! And then, before anyone could stop her, she ran out of the room. Miracle! Creamy screamed. Come back here now! But Miracle was gone.
They're gonna see her out dancing with the acrobat.
Yeah, and that's where she's
Because
meant
Miracle
to be.
doesn't, she's not even interested in
doesn't
modeling.
care.
This poor girl, all she wants to do is dance.
Let the poor girl dance.
Just let the poor girl dance.
Let the poor dumb girl dance.
Let her do what she's good at and loves.
Creamy clammed her mouth shut, looking flustered and bewildered. Clearly, this wasn't part of the plan. Well, at least she'll be in the stadium, surrounded by other Bellas where she belongs. She whipped around and transferred all her aggression to the 5 fingers that still held tightly to Tookie's arm, squeezing so hard that Tookie let out a small, pained eep. Eep! Eep! Now make it official, she said to the belladonna. Or else.
Or else.
Or else what? Or else I'll tell them. Creamy's eyes glimmered darkly. What are you two talking about? Tookie cried, caught between them. Tell us what? What are you both hiding? The relationship, apparently. The belladonna snickered. I have no idea what your mother is talking about, Tookie, but there are 2 things I do know. Uno, your mother is evil. Y dos.
Why are we switching to Spanish?
Cultural diversity.
That's all well and good, but
there isn't even Spanish in this world, so I don't understand why we're using Spanish and French if they're something in Tres Jolie. Y dos, she doesn't really care about you. All she cares about is herself. And maybe that bizarre baby doll she's carrying around. That shows how blind you really are, Creamy snapped. Bellissima is beautiful, not bizarre. Then she moved her face close to Tookie's and put her cruddy hand on Tookie's cheek. It was sweet and terrifying at the same time. How was any of that sweet?
okay, maybe it's sweet that she's like, oh,
Talking.
Tookie, but terrifying
With her
because it looks like a
Skeletor
skeleton.
hand. I'd be just terrified. I would not be sweet. I'd be like, oh my god, she's gonna slap me.
Yeah, if I was Tookie and just
My
watched
sister-
her slap Miracle.
Yeah, my sister just got smacked upside the head. Mom's just preparing for the aim. Like,
I have to judge the distance.
yeah, whack. That's what it feels like.
Oh, poor Tookie.
As for what I've never told you, Tookie, it's all in the past, dear. The ancient past. And you know ancient isn't my thing. Plus, it doesn't concern you. What? Of course it concerns me, Tookie wriggled her arms. I'm caught in the middle. Yeah, crazy mama, let go her, Shiraz yelled. Both women stared only
Why
at
are
one
they
another
there?
for those lines.
It's like once a page, one of them has to pipe up and say something
And it's
unnecessary.
usually Shiraz. Because we gotta have that comedic break where she can't speak English. Or common, whatever you call this language. Both women stared only at one another. Tookie gazed with disbelief at her mother, nearly unrecognizable with the suit all over her wrinkled face, her normally pristine clothes in tatters, and her hair a filthy rat's nest atop her head. All at once, Tookie realized how little she knew about Creamy. How her own mother was one big mystery to her, except for the clear disdain she had for Tookie. To Creamy, Tookie was a waste of time, Dead weight. That was why Creamy was fine with sending her away to become a factory dependent. Tookie just didn't matter. She was in the way. And now, she was in Miracle's way. As you've been, and has this whole paragraph has been stated in earlier chapters, basically.
Yep.
Tookie's shock over finding out that the Belladonna and Creamy knew one another was replaced with rage. Because Tookie feels two things, fright and rage. That is it. It.
0 to 100.
0 to 100.
No in between.
Immediately. Anything that doesn't sit right with her just fills her with rage. So she is Creamy's daughter. We can confirm
Yeah,
this
I was
one.
just going to say, it does kind of sound like Creamy.
Whatever had happened between them, she wanted to know about it. She deserved to know. It was time for the truth.
Does she deserve to know?
Nobody deserves to know anything, really.
No.
As she stood there in front of her tormentors, Tookie caught sight of the long corridor of the Ua. A plan began to form in her mind. I wonder what's going to happen. Can you guess what's going to happen?
I really have no clue. I have no clue at all.
We're going back to that room with the sightseer people
Oh.
to try and discover
okay.
true feelings and see a
Gotcha.
vision of the past of what happened.
Gotcha. She's going to take the doll. She's going to take the doll and run with it.
Let's see. Sorry, I thought I missed something because you said she took the doll and I read a line. I'm like, did she?
Okay, what happens?
Give her to me, you blind bat! Creamy screamed, yanking on Tookie's arm.
Oh.
And at that, Tookie moved a smidgen to the left in the direction of the hallway. So she didn't take her. All I read at first was, give her to me, you blind brat. And I was like, Tookie take police? What? She is property of Modelland now, the Belladonna roared, using Tookie as her tug-of-war rope.
Wait, people are property now.
Apparently. Trademark of Modelland.
There are
Tookie
multiple
TM.
problems with this book.
So many problems. Tookie shifted toward the hallway a little more. Back and forth they went, until they were halfway down the hall. Tookie's just sprinting down, and they're still yanking on her arms back and forth.
I think Tookie broke free because she, pulls away from her mom when she's like, I deserve to know.
She just moved, a smidgen to the left in the direction of the hallway. She just keeps, shifting back and forth between the two of them, trying to make it to that other room. Oh, finally, Tookie broke free and sprinted toward the flashback females.
Oh, okay. Hey, you called it!
Yay! I knew that had to come up again somewhere, because nothing else was going to come up somewhere.
Gotcha.
Tookie, where the hell are you going? Creamy squawked. Tookie skidded to a stop in the flashback room. The three females sat cross-legged on the floor, calm looks on their faces. They hardly seemed surprised as Creamy, the Belladonna, Persimmon, C-Tilde-L, Miracle, and the Uniquest tumbled in after Tookie. Well, as everyone tumbled in after Tookie.
Why are the Unikas even there?
Why are they there? There's no reason.
They don't serve a purpose.
Quips. They're there for quips. Milky, or whatever you call yourself, leave my premises right now, the Belladonna roared. This is a sacred place, and I will not have your filthy mouth, body, mind, and bizarre doll dirty it up any more than you already have.
Why'd you let her in?
Why'd you let her in? I don't know. Because otherwise, there was no possible way Creamy was going to get in, and Tyra's like, well, that's not going to work for the ending I want. I'll let him in. She just lets him in. Belladonna likes conflict and people opposing her. Just let him in. Tookie approached the female closest to her. I deserve to know what happened between these two, she said aloud. Can you show us? The female frowned. But it is not your flashback, Tookie. Only the one who is part of the flashback may access it and show others. Creamy stepped forward, her footsteps making dirty smudges on the gleaming white floor. Then I'd like access to it. We all can see it.
Wait, you just said no!
I just said, you don't need to know any of this, Tookie. Tookie goes, I'd like to know. And Creamy's like, well, shit, fine.
Well, I'll let you know.
You just convinced me. Because we need to keep this plot rolling. Otherwise, we can't make anything happen.
Why?
No!
Because Tyra didn't know how the hell to wrap this up and have it work.
No. So she had to force it to happen by everybody just complying. Just let this happen. It's fine. These characters would totally do this. These characters I built, they have very fluctuating personalities as it is. They just do this. It's fine. Don't you dare, the belladonna roared, reaching for her but missing. Exasperated, she groped toward the wall. Nars! I need you! Come now! There's an intruder in my ooh-ah! I'm sorry.
You said that and I thought something completely different.
Because that's what I was thinking as I was reading that. There's an intruder in my hoo-ha! Nars! Behind them, in the projected image of the stadium, Gennaro flinched as though he'd heard the belladonna's message loud and clear. The crowd was getting restless. The board was on their feet, trying to calm everyone down and determine the cause of the delay. Where's the belladonna? The voices cried. She's never late like this. Gennaro promptly abandoned his post and vanished. Creamy moved toward the flashback circle. Well, show us, she commanded the females. The room started to dim and the walls began to pulse. Don't listen to her, the belladonna screamed. She glared around at Tookie's friends and Tilda L. All of you, you must leave with me, now! Immediately, Tookie and her friends ran toward the door.
I thought she wanted to see! What?
Currently, she doesn't have the cojones to stay there for 2 more seconds. Immediately, Tookie and her friends ran toward the door. The place was in chaos, but still, they knew they couldn't disobey the belladonna. Shiraz made it out first.
She just ran from her!
Then Piper, then Dylan. Tookie was close behind but tripped and fell.
Of course she did.
Of course, we've set this up 500 times that she trips and falls all the time. And then Creamy jumped into the circle.
So the friends aren't going to see, and Tookie is.
So why were they there in the first place? And then Creamy jumped into the circle, making more dust rise off her body in a thick black cloud. Instantly, the heavy metal door slammed down, sealing Tookie and Tilda L inside with the 2 deranged women in the flashback.
Wait, Tilda L's still there?
Yeah, she's still there, apparently.
She also has no use for being there.
Other than be somebody who's helping Tookie.
But she's not.
But she's not.
She's
currently.
not.
She hasn't done anything except for tell us the belladonna, like, sets fashion.
No.
Yeah.
There's no reason for her to be there.
Instantly, the heavy metal door slammed down, sealing Tookie and Tilda L inside with the 2 deranged women and the flashback females. The sounds of the 7/7 festivities were instantly muffled. The room descended into darkness. An eerie red dish mist.
What?
It's because it's hyphenated in the suckiest of spots. Because I read an eerie red dish.
Reddish. Ah.
But it's... Guys... That's why I hate hyphens so much. An eerie reddish mist wafted through the air. No! The belladonna wailed, scratching at the heavy iron and concrete doors with her fingernails, trying to lift them. Persimmon, do something! Get those doors open!
She can transform into a statue and do all these other crazy things. Why can't you either teleport out of the room or have control over your people that are supposed to work for you?
Plot convenience.
Yeah,
Because
that's exactly
otherwise
what
this
it is.
couldn't happen unless Tyra spoke it and it was so. But Persimmon just shook her head helplessly. Oh, beloved belladonna, she said in a monotone. There is nothing I can do to lift them until the flashback is over. You know that. You put these doors here. Yes!
Well, she didn't think that through.
Yes, Creamy hissed triumphantly. The stone woman is trapped by her own man-made rock. Then the flashback females stepped up to Creamy and leaned their heads close to hers, telepathically interpreting Creamy's wishes. It is so, the females said, lowering their beehive heads. Oh god, that's what they looked like. Creamy turned and faced the others. Here we go, my darlings. Here we go, Tookie thought nervously. Am I really ready for this? All at once, Tookie felt that familiar tingling sensation. A pinprick of light appeared at the end of a tunnel. More light streamed in, and shapes appeared. The shapes became buildings, and then Tookie was standing in the O, alone. And yet, much about her surroundings looked different. A stadium stood off to the side, but it was made of ancient stone. The M building glistened a tad less, but it was still a shimmering behemoth. Turning, Tookie saw C-Tilde-L across the O. "What's going on?" Tookie cried, rushing over to her. I don't know." C-Tilde-L spun around, taking in their surroundings. She ran her hands down her face and took a couple of deep breaths. "When is this, I wonder?" "Shh!" Creamy hissed from close by. Tookie caught sight of her too, standing on the edge of the golden walkway, still caked in filth. The belladonna stood next to her, covering her eyes. Persimmon was at her side, staring straight ahead. Just then, a stream of girls in yellow uniforms walked off an escalator onto the ground. The escalator was alongside the electromagnetic sphere that housed War of Words class, except instead of being suspended in the air as it normally was, the structure was on stilts. The girls' uniforms looked similar to Zen's upper-class Bella one, but instead of pants, they had on skirts that stopped at their knees, because it's retro. I'm gonna pause for a second. So this world is magical, right? We've established that this is all magic and not scientific discovery.
Yep. It's a lawless land.
Why is the classroom that usually floats by magic currently on stilts?
They didn't have that magic yet. Maybe magic evolves like science does as people learn more.
I dislike this so much. The flashback followed two of them. One with very dark hair and olive skin, the other with blonde hair and beautiful pink cheeks.
I told you she was there! Although, that wasn't my original, thought.
Yeah.
Because before I thought, she just, didn't get in, had, the plague and walked up the mountain before.
Nope, she must have broke out.
Be with the boy she loved!
Oh, that's probably it.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not.
I hate that you go on. Okay, tell me first who's speaking if you're going to speak for 3 sentences. Thank you. I still think my argument that fuller lips and butts are no longer on trend is correct, but yuck, so cruel. I hope I got my point across in rebuttal without hurting anyone's feelings, the olive-skinned girl said. Pouty, tarty, juicy, plump lips don't go well with slender, tender, slimmer, thin hips. She sang this last part, stretching out her arms as if completing an aria. She was undoubtedly the belladonna, but she couldn't have been more than 18 years old. You always manage to win War of Words, but never lose friends. That's a gift, LaDonna.
Maybe it's that they just can't call her the belladonna yet, but that's what she's aiming for. I don't know. Maybe it's a nickname.
It's 100%. It's just so stupid. It's LaDonna. LaDonna, Tookie thought. Oh my god, is that the belladonna's real name?
Gasp.
Wow!
Maybe. I still think it's a nickname. Because they'd be stupid if it was the real name.
It's totally the real name. Because the smoke is stupid. LaDonna playfully smacked the blonde. Like you aren't full of magical gifts. 7 of them to be exact. Little Miss Future 777. What? What?
I told you she was a Bella.
But she has the 7 gifts.
No, they're saying maybe you'll become the next one.
You aren't full of magical gifts. 7 of them to be exact.
Wait, Creamy is already established as a 777?
But without the title. So she has all the powers, but not the title. Little Miss Future 777.
Interesting.
Because they don't all have those powers. They get different powers, but not the 7's powers. But Creamy has all of them? Does she get aged up as she leaves? Is that why she has so many wrinkles? She ages 50 years when she leaves. Called it!
Okay.
I'm calling it right now.
But, okay, though, so I kind of thought that, once you were chosen to be, the 777 because you're just better than everyone else, you got all the powers, not that you already had them, that made you the 777.
I don't know.
It
just seems odd that she points out that she has the 7 powers. Sometimes I wish those magneto waves would scramble your brain so the rest of us could shine. Good friend. Then LaDonna started belting out a song about being free as a bird. I'm like a bird. I will fly away. for a whole month, she gushed. Go see go can't come soon enough. The blonde poked her side, smiling brightly. That's just because you're jonesing for that hunk of man of yours. Oh, she stole the man.
Oh, uh-oh.
Shh, LaDonna whispered, glancing at an enormous belladonna statue across the square. Also, it's still called a belladonna, even though her name's LaDonna.
Which is why I think it's stupid.
It's dumb.
That should be a nickname. It should be a nickname.
It had the same defined lips and arched eyebrows as LaDonna.
So is it like a...
Oh, okay, hang on. We have an answer for you. That's the Queen Belladonna, Cetilla whispered, as though reading Tookie's thoughts. Our Belladonna's mama. I think they're from a long line of royal Intoxibellas or something. Why? Why is this important? That's right, it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not.
Just then, a third girl ran up to the group. She had silky brown hair, smooth tan skin, and large, alluring, tiger-striped eyes.
Persimmon.
Yep. She wasn't in a yellow upper-class ballet Modelland uniform like the others, but instead wore a long couture gown. It was flesh-toned and made of the finest lace and tulle. Tookie leaned forward, frowning. Madonna's eyes widened, admiring the brunette girl. Nice vestido, Curly. Yep, the new girl said, doing a shimmy and a twirl. I just came from a fitting with Guru Aplaze. It just needs a few more tweaks. I'm going to wear it for the big day. It's kind of hard to walk in, but easy to turn. She spun like a top, completing 4 circles, spotting perfectly. The blonde clapped gleefully. You're going to be chosen to be a 7-7 wearing that, Lotta. Lotta? That name rang through Tookie's mind like a siren. I hope so, because if they don't pick me, I think I'll literally die, Percy, she replied. Someone in the room gasped. Tookie turned and saw Persimmon, the mannequin, in the corner. Her head shook with sorrow. Was she Percy? Why are they so friggin' slow? Then Tookie's gaze moved to the brunette girl again. There was something vaguely familiar about her mouth, her eyes, the color and tone of her silky skin. But Tookie was too scared to admit the undeniable truth. Then her gaze turned to the dress, and her heart stung once more. It was the dress Creamy had specifically picked out for Miracle for T-Dot at the Jerk Boutique 1 year ago. Creamy had chosen it, touched it, even though it was vintage, old. Tookie's stomach turned over as the weight of what she just discovered fully hit her. Lotta was Creamy, her mother, and Creamy, the Belladonna, and Persimmon had once been best friends on their way to becoming Intoxibellas at Modelland.
How did she not figure this out? It's Creamy's memory!
Oh,
Duh!
My God. Why? Okay. Tyra, give us some credit. I know we're a couple of 20-somethings, but give your readers some credit. And just assume that they can figure it out without you, like, okay, here's this, and here's this clue, all within one page. And here's the, and here, can you guess who it is?
And
Guess
oh
who it
my
is?
god, it's her!
Oh my god, it is! Oh wow, such a good job.
This is so stupid. It's so bad.
I hate it. And that's where we're gonna stop for tonight.
This is, I think, the worst chapter besides where they introduce the 7-7s, because that's just a completely unnecessary chapter.
This is just so bad. And this is supposed to be in Tyra's mind. I'm still gonna believe it. This is what Tyra thinks is the climax. This is the important stuff you gotta know.
But it's not.
It's
still falling action. This is all falling action.
No, it's supposed to be.
It is falling action.
It is falling action. Tyra thinks it's not. Because she keeps dropping bombshells like something bigger's coming. And it's not.
Nope. Your falling action was when Tookie has her realization, changes her thought concerning Cetilda all around Modelland, makes her escape and realizes, no, that's not what I have to do. I have to go back. That is your climax with the highest stakes. This is all falling action as you figure out what is going on with the plot. Because in your rising action, you hit all your certain parts and you reach your climax, which is the most dramatic point of the book, and it ends when there's some sort of shift in the character's thought process, in their understanding. That's your climax. And then all of this, as they're explaining it, is all falling action. And you can still have very dramatic points in there, and like maybe like little spikes of action, but this isn't the climax. This is all falling action, and there's no stakes, really. There's still no stakes. Nothing has been established of what is the outcome if we see the vision. We don't know. We don't know.
I had to go back and read to confirm that the first two girls speaking were the Belladonna and Persimmon, and then Tookie's mom joined in. But it took me a second because the first girl was blonde, and I thought, at least I pictured Creamy as blonde. But I guess they've never specifically said that I remember.
I've never pictured Creamy as blonde, no.
Just because of the name, at least. I just pictured.
I guess that makes sense, though.
But no, she's this other girl that shows up. Lada.
Wait, no, now I'm confused. So the first two speaking...
Or Persimmon and the Belladonna.
Okay.
And then Tookie's mom, Creamy, Lada, runs up to the group with their new dress on.
So, I thought, didn't it say the new girl is the one with the tiger stripe eyes, which is Persimmon? Can I see? I just gotta skim this, because I'm really confused now. Going on. Wait a second. Okay, so, doesn't the Belladonna have black hair when she comes out statue?
Yeah. She's the one with the black hair here.
Okay. With very dark hair and olive skin.
Yep.
That's your Belladonna.
Yes.
The other with the blonde hair and beautiful pink cheeks. So apparently that is Persimmon.
Yep.
So they're talking, and she says, "That's a gift, LaDonna," the blonde said brightly. So Persimmon said brightly, reaching over and giving the brunette a friendly hug.
Apparently black hair and brunettes are the same
I
now.
mean, I guess she could have dyed her hair later on, but whatever.
No, it's literally like Tyra forgot what brunette means. So she's like...
Or just forgot what color she made their hair.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Just then, a third girl ran up to the group. She had silky brown hair, smooth tan skin, and large, alluring tiger-striped eyes. I thought that those were what Persimmon's eyes looked like.
I remember there being tiger-striped eyes at some point, and I just don't remember who they belonged to.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they weren't how they described Creamy's eyes, though.
So the one that has the triple, or has all 7 powers... Mm-hmm. Is Persimmon, who doesn't get chosen.
Yep.
Okay. At least I understand who's speaking now, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really confused because we're going right into Creamy's memory. I'm like, oh, this is Creamy and the Belladonna talking right now. And it's like, nope.
I wonder if her name's Lotta because it's like latte, and she goes by Creamy.
100%. 100%.
Alright, but that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Yep, so let us know what you guys think in the comments down below, and make sure you like and subscribe to follow us for the last couple episodes of Modelland. We're almost there. We're almost done. Thank God. We'll see you guys next time. Bye!